My name is Henriette. I'm from Sweden and I'm doing my third year of creative writing here at Glamorgan. And I chose Glamorgan and creative writing because, well, I've always wanted to write. I've been writing since I was a kid, always. And I had a really good teacher in school in would that have been? My 7th year, I think, school. And she said, just concentrate on things that you do well, writing, for example, and since then I've just been writing. So that's mainly why I chose creative writing in general. I always knew that I wanted to study in an English-speaking country. That's been a dream for many years for me, because I wanted to improve my English and I wanted to practice it. So I went to a study fair in Stockholm, and Glamorgan was there. And they were really good. They answered a lot of my questions. They gave me materials, leaflets about Glamorgan, and they just sold it for me, basically. I've done writing fiction, non-fiction, writing for children, and doing my dissertation in creative writing this year, and doing writing culture and society also. So it's a lot of different kind of writing, and makes you think about writing a new way, I think, because they ask you to write non-fiction, and suddenly you have to think back into your own life and find something to write about there. And then fiction, you just come up with something, see what you're good at, which I've really enjoyed. I think the teachers, especially on creative writing, they've been amazing. They've been giving us ideas and inspiration, and they'll bring these handouts with extracts from stories, and you read those stories and suddenly you think about writing a whole different way than before, which I think is amazing. And one of my lecturers in my 2nd year, she brought in this little Christmas tree ornament, like a little shoe you just hang on the Christmas tree, and she said, write something about this. And actually I think the story I wrote from that is one of the best I've written since I came here. It was just this idea that I got, and another thing one of my lecturers did, she told us about the shortest short story ever written, Hemingway. It's just one sentence, and it's for sale, baby shoes, never worn. And that sentence made me think about the story so much, and I ended up writing a story behind that story, kind of, so where a story about that sentence, and it was just great. I've been taught by Barry Llewellyn, I've been taught by Des Barry, by Chris Meredith, Philip Gross this year. He's my dissertation supervisor, and that's actually perfect because I'm doing my dissertation about my grandmother, who was a refugee from Estonia and escaped from the Russians in 1944. And Philip, through his father, he has ties in Estonia as well. So it's been amazing. We've just been talking a lot about Estonia and about refugees, and he's helped me a lot. It's been great. I didn't really know him. I knew of him, but I didn't know him before this year, before I had him as my supervisor. And I've been asking him questions about getting published and that kind of thing. And it's just great to be supervised and taught by someone who you really know that they know what they're doing. They really know what they're talking about. So yeah, DAPS is a magazine book produced by students, for students almost, on creative writing especially. So it's every year students in creative writing in all 3 years, they send in submissions to DAPS, and it could be poems, prose, fiction, non-fiction. They send it into a DAPS board that are created. It's not always the same group every year, but you'll have people that do the DAPS every year. So they'll be on the board and they'll look through the submissions. They read them, they vote on them anonymously, so you don't know who's written them. So you can't be biased about I know that person and so on. And we put them together. We edit it. We put it together into a book. We have a launch party, and then we sell them. So it is a way of creative writing students to get published even before leaving the university. So I think that's great. I had a piece in the DAPS book last year, so the 2010 edition. And then this year I've just been concentrating on putting it together, editing, that kind of thing. The skills that will give me of having been on DAPS, I think, is well, you get a whole new feel for editing that you didn't before, and you know that this is going to actually get published. So you have to look through it. You have to be really careful about what you actually put in, see if you can find that little mistake that no one's noticed before, and it's really cool. I actually think it would be cool to look into editing as a sort of career, actually, after having done this. So I will always write, I think, because I've been doing it for so long. But I think I want to concentrate also on, since I'm doing the TESOL and teaching English to students of other languages, or English as a foreign language, I want to continue with that in teaching, but I will always write on the side. So I really hope one day to get something published for real, like a book. I think that student life in general is the most fun because you get so many friends. So I didn't even consider it before coming here, but you get to know people from so many different corners of the world, and you'll have French friends, you'll have German friends, you'll have American friends, and you just all get together and things, I mean, you'll get introduced to stuff that you didn't really do before. I mean, in my first year, the French students that I knew, they would arrange crepe nights. So you just get together and cook, and it was just amazing to get to know like so many different people. So, yeah, that's been the greatest thing, I think, the friends that you've made. And also it's great for the future, of course. So if you want to go out traveling, you'll have people in different places of the world, somewhere to stay. So that's great.